going on, everyone? Welcome. Where's my buttons? There we go. I hit the right one that time. Is it buffering or anything for you guys? Does the stream like suck? Let me know. I'm trying different internet and it looks like I have a delay from my stream to my live feed. So maybe it sucks. It could suck. I'm doing some testing here. So also on top of that, during the countdown, YouTube thought it was a good idea to say, hey, we got to verify you. Is it really you? And then, I got my special security key thing I got to plug in and all this stuff. And yeah, thanks a lot for perfect timing on that aspect. It's a little delayed. Is it buffering? It was buffering like crazy. Seems fine now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Maybe the buffering, you said it was buffering like crazy. Maybe that's when it asked me to verify, because then I had to go to different screens and do crazy stuff. It is a little bit delayed. That sucks. That sucks. All right. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll let this one play out, and unless it sucks, then I'll, restart on the other internet. I got both internets running. I'm trying the newer one to see how it is on the upload. The upload speed is good, but it has high latency, which sucks. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, how you guys doing? It is Saturday live stream time. Well, I see people just talking away on the Twitch there. We saw Jock McMiner, Scafer. What is going? Oh, yeah, here we go. Rabid in the house. We got Jock McMiner there. We're talking about, what is that? It was dead when I got it. What was? Just ripping apart, what is that? Pylon Tech, US 2000 plus that I managed to kill. Oh, no, that sucks. It was dead when I got it. I manually charged it, but at the wrong volts amps. Fried the communication board and one of the 3 battery packs. Luckily, the BMS survived, so I could probably sell that. Damn, that sucks. PSUs are a nightmare. The stream looks and sounds good to me. Put your face on the screen so we can see if it's in sync. Yeah, and the good one, Scafer. Nice try. You almost got me. I was ready to set up my camera and everything. All right, coming into the Tombster here, I see Will, a Blappanap. What is happening? Ogre MGTOW.
The one and only nuclear power plant mining, Rod Potts.
We got Squirrel Master, Grey Wolf, the Pirate, Skirm. What is happening? Turtle Tech, what's going on? Squirrel Master, Brad Johnson. Oh, the one and only also. Budweiser in the house. What do we got here? We got Cam B. We got Fully Electric is here. What is happening? RPM Raid, let's go. Squirrel Master, I believe I said. Ace K, what is happening? J-Rod D, Travelers Travels. Scrolling. What do we got? First Time 13 is here. We got Rud Putz with the countdown. Yusuf Putz, what is happening? Massless Ninjas in the house. Bleach, what's going on? Be More Stupid. Mining is dead. Oh, that's a funny one right there. And then, yeah, so we caught up on it. So how's everyone doing? What are you guys all up to? Things looking all right? Crypto has been looking pretty decent lately, huh? Check this out. We got Bitcoin. It's red now. It's down 1%. What is this? But I guess you can't really see the green line there. Can we look here? No, not on that button. Try this button. Yeah, here you can kind of see. Here's Bitcoin. At least we're like looking decent over the past 7 days. So that's all right. Looking not too shabby. I guess we can look at the 7 days. 7 days is up pretty decent here, so that's a good thing for all of us. Now, is altcoin season ready to blow up? Maybe. It's possible. We'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. Now, will mining turn around as these alts pump? And that is kind of what we've been saying for years now, is you got to get your coins in the bear market when less people are mining. As prices increase, hash rate increases in crypto mining, even if these coins hit all-time highs, sadly, they're still most likely going to suck. So mining is most likely dead currently, but moving forward, it's hard to say. We don't know. But so you're going to have your bag. So if you already have bags of multiple coins in here and you're seeing nice increases, it may play out. If you don't have any bags or you dumped them all already, or, you're just trying to mine for the next bull cycle and altcoin cycle, it may not play out that well. Maybe mining right now will be, but it all comes down to cost of coins. In reality, cost of coins. All crypto mining is, most people aren't really supporting the blockchain. Yeah, there are people that support the blockchains. They mine at a loss or break even because they love the coin, love the chain, love everything. Now, most of us home miners probably don't give a crap about that. I know I don't. So, mostly it's time it's in for profit. So, it comes down to what's the cheapest way to get coins that you hope will end up or feel or anything like that will make big gains in an altcoin season or something. So most of the time lately, due to the increases, due to the high hash rates, because we're still dealing with Ethereum effects, as much as people say Ethereum has nothing to do with it, we are still dealing with the after effects of Ethereum moving to proof of stake, because there's still a lot of hardware with so much hopium wishing it will spike up and continue to be good again when it's not. I think this cycle is finally going to shut a bunch of people up and they're going to quit, meaning next cycle we're going to be good to go. Panda's going to be buying every single GPU in the world, which he still is, and he's going to be like king of crypto probably in 2029 because he's going to be making so much money. But right now, this cycle could suck here. So, moving forward, it's about looking at the prices right now, and if you were mining at a loss, that means you get more coins by buying the coin for the same amount of power. Now, if you're mining in the profit range, you get more coins instead of paying your power bill than you would be for just buying the coin for the same amount of power. So it just comes down to, how do you get the most amount of coins for the cheapest? Is it mining or is it purchasing the coin? And ultimately it comes down to, are you mining at a profit or are you mining at a loss? And that's pretty much all you got to look at, and that'll give you an idea of how to get the most amount of coins for the same price when that comes in. So yeah, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Yeah, more coin. Squirrel, it's like Kwai. What's like Kwai? Maskless Ninja, code enforcement busted up half my mining farm. What? I was half off grid, half grid tied, tapping into inheritance to set up everything off grid now. That's crazy. That sucks, Maskless Ninja. Code enforcement. So like it was out of code? Like you can't do that? You're not allowed to do that? Like I don't know what the code and stuff is. So who knows? That's crazy. How do I mine during the pause? You guys talking about Cubic? What are we talking about? Use of pots? Oh, Squirrel, it's like Kwai. What's Squirrel saying here? Rabid, how do I stop that pause in Cubic? So you cannot stop the pause in Cubic. As of let's just bring up a Cubic page here, just because let's just show we're looking at Cubic here. Let's just go Cubic portal. I don't know. I can't remember what they are. There we go. That looks like a Cubic cube, doesn't it? Oh, I gotta sign in stuff. Okay. I don't know if I remember my login. Where's Cubic's website? Just so we have a background as we talk about Cubic. Fastest blockchain ever. 15.5 million transactions per second. Let's do this. Are there even 15 million people? How many? I don't even know how many people are using it. Sure, they can do that, but if people don't use it, it doesn't matter what you can do. Look at Kaspa, prime example, fast blockchain. Nobody cares about it, so it's not doing anything. Hopefully it does. So anyway, coming into Cubic, we're shooting through the stars in warp speed like Star Trek or something. So hopefully that doesn't cause anybody to have a convulsion or something. That'd be bad, including myself. So if you guys start hearing me freak out, call an ambulance. Anyway, moving forward. So Cubic, I don't know. Maybe it's longer than 3 months, 4 months ago. So obviously previously when we were CPU mining it and everything, Cubic is, we were mining it 24/7. It's all you mine, just like a normal blockchain. You mine it. Actually, it's nowhere near a normal blockchain because every Wednesday is how, you got paid every Wednesday on an epoch change. And then they changed the algorithm every Wednesday as well. Sometimes they kept it going 2-3 weeks in a row, but most of the time it was changed every week. And then it would bounce back and forth. At first, when the CPUs, then they'd add on, needed more RAM requirements. You need to double and triple up your RAM. And then you didn't need RAM anymore. RAM didn't matter. And then you needed, more RAM again. And then they slowly started implementing a GPU miner. And then you could mine GPUs, and then GPUs were better. And then CPUs were back to being better. And then GPUs were better. And then CPUs were better. And then, it's back and forth constantly. Now, it seems like the past 3 months, GPUs have been the better option. They haven't changed the algorithm yet. But about 4 or 5 months maybe now at this point, because the idle time started before this past 3 months. I haven't looked at Cubic for quite some time now. That's why I'm like, wow, it was that long ago. So maybe it's like 5-6 months ago, they implemented the idle time. And what that means is they mine Cubic. It used to be like mine it for an hour and then it had an idle time of 45. Now I think it's something like 15 minutes and 15 minutes. Maybe it's 30 minutes and 30 minutes. I can't remember. It's around half. So you're mining Cubic for an X amount of time and then it's off. You cannot mine it during the off time. The network is literally like on the mining side is shut off. So it's impossible to mine it in the off time. So use of putts, how can you mine it cancel the off time? You can't. It's impossible. Your rigs sit there idle. That's just now baked into the blockchain. It's the way they have it because they said, oh, it's going to be more efficient. We're still going to dish out the same amount of cubic, but now you don't have to mine it as long. So in theory, it pretty much doubles up the actually it doesn't double up the emissions, but now you mine for 12 hours, you're off for 12 hours, you're still earning the same amount. So now people, you can dual mine, you can point your rigs to other coins in that off time, and then it picks back up. If you're familiar with Epic Cash mining, it's pretty much the exact same thing going on there. You're mining Epic Cash has 3 different algorithms. It mines on RandomX, which is CPUs, for a little bit, and then it swaps over into ProgPow for GPU. So as it does that, then your miner automatically switches to another coin, and you're mining that while it's going through ProgPow, and then once it's done ProgPow, it hits the ASIC stage for a couple blocks there, and then it goes back to RandomX. So in all that off time, as Epic Cash is doing the other 2 algorithms, you are now mining something else. So think of Cubic as the same thing. It has an idle time for half the time, and then for the other time, every 30 minutes or so, it keeps switching back and forth, on, off, on, off, on, off, like someone flicking a switch. And then in that off time, you can point your rigs to something else. Now, they do plan on implementing XMR mining. And when that happens, it sounds like CPUs and stuff won't have a choice. You're going to be mining all the time, and you have to mine XMR. I'm not 100% sure yet. This is some of the info I'm getting, but because obviously GPUs cannot mine XMR very good, they're going to still have the option to mine other coins during that off time. Now, the big thing, which doesn't make any sense, which we don't know because they never tell us anything. They just tell us a whole bunch of things that doesn't make sense all the time. So, and I don't think they're ever going to start making sense anytime soon. But to me, in my mind, so what their plan is with the XMR mining is they want to mine XMR, and then they want to sell it, and then keep buying Cubic with that in order to keep the Cubic price high. So obviously they're trying to tell us we're trying to manipulate the price ourselves. So that's one thing they're secretly they're not secretly, they're telling us that, but you can take it any way they can, but that is what they're doing. They want to sell the XMR into that. Now there's a few things I am confused about up in the air. One, if it's mostly GPU, and GPU is obviously dominant right now, why would CPUs want to come mine it? And they need CPUs to mine that XMR. So I figure a big algo change will be coming to bring back in those CPUs and slowly start to remove the GPUs off the network. Now, I think they're probably just using GPU miners right now. As we know, most people out there are GPU miners. This was obviously very popular upon CPUs early on because it was extremely profitable. It was insane. I could build a brand new rig every single 2 days. It was making a ton of money early on, CPU mine. But then all of a sudden, all these GPUs came in, and so many came in, and they're taking over. But what they want to do in the chain, GPUs cannot do what they want. So eventually they're going to have to go back to CPU. So I think they're using GPU miners to say, hey, we're mining this, talk about Cubic, kind of like how Ethereum, their biggest PR team was obviously their miners, always talking about Ethereum. Now they have GPU miners talking about Cubic. And I think eventually they are, for their long-term plans, they're going to have to ditch all that. So they're actually just using their community as much as they can. They don't care about anybody, or they would have had basic specs, because you never knew how to build. How do you build for Cubic when you don't know what they're going to do? Do you buy GPU rigs? Do you buy CPU rigs? You got to go back and forth because every week was constantly different up until past 3 months have been the same. So anyway, they got this XMR coming in within the next couple weeks, maybe a month tops, I think. So now they're going to have to bring in CPUs in order to do that. The other thing is, if they plan on mining and selling all this XMR, are they even going to be paying the CPU miners for that off time? Because now they're force hashing you to mine this. Well, they're trying to scoop it all. Now, are XMR miners going to be getting their XMR that they mine in terms of Cubic? Maybe they're going to be selling it all that way and giving out the Cubic to the miners. That could be a very well thing too. That means you could be 24/7 mining Cubic, but we don't know. There's still a lot of up in the airs that we don't really have any idea about. But that's pretty much what's going on. When it comes to the idle time of Cubic, you cannot mine Cubic in that time. You do have to mine something else if you don't want your hardware to remain idle. So that kind of makes sense. Warp puke speed. All right, I'll turn that off now. Boom. No more warp puke speed for you people. I apologize for that. I think I started getting dizzy there. Whoa. Rabid, you asked what to mine recently. Mine XMR, 2 by Addy. cubic screen is giving the motion sickness on my big screen. Yeah, sorry about that, Funwise. Don't get sick. Everyone's going to go to Twitter and stuff now and say, Rabid just got everybody, his entire stream sick and they're puking everywhere. That's the effect. That's the Rabid effect. Can I mine for 50 minutes to switch to another pool for 50 minutes and switch back so I'm mining? No, all the pools shut off at the exact same time. The entire chain goes idle on the mining side. Every pool is exactly the same. There's impossible to mine cubic 100% of the time. And they adjusted the rewards and everything because of it. So, you know, before you, like, there's always the same amount, that's 1 point some trillion cubic being released every week on each epoch. So, you know, you divide that by 7, that equals whatever. That used to be your daily emissions. The daily emissions is still exactly the same, except you're not mining as long. One, they thought it was more efficient because now you don't have to mine as long. Now you can mine other coins. But everything's exactly the same, except you can only mine cubic half the time than you used to be able to before. But the emissions and the amount of coins you're going to get and everything is still the same as before. If that makes sense. Bleach is dizzy. You said that's so stupid. Well, Cubic's been kind of stupid from the get-go. So, you know, exactly. It makes sense for them to continue to make no sense. I still want to know what's happening when the XMR thing comes in. I'm really excited for that, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, I imagine, like, because they want to sell all that XMR, so they're going to dump it all or switch it over. I don't know how they're going to do that or what exchange or anything like that. And then they're going to, you know, I feel it makes sense that they'll be paying the CPUs the XMR that they would have earned by selling that and paying them in cubic for that. But, you know, we're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, when that happens, I'm going to be doing a lot of spreadsheet work to see, are we getting ripped off? Or are we not getting ripped off? If I combine, you know, this amount of XMR, am I getting paid this amount of XMR for my hash rate, or are they kind of taking some? Obviously, there's going to be exchange fees in there, so you're going to lose a little bit because of that. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And speaking of, you know, are they going to rip people off or not? EKA pool. Oh my gosh. You guys remember them, don't you? We talked about, they were mining, I can't remember, was it a Pepe coin or something a while back? And, you know, let's just go, let's find their website now. EKA pool. Let's talk about them. This is one of my one of the pools I've been always saying do not use forever. Like, not forever, but like, this is a pool that I never did trust. I've caught them on a couple occasions stealing people's coins. And it wasn't like they were just taking a little bit. Like, they were taking like half your coins, like big chunks that you couldn't realize. So is this EK pool mine? Yeah. So here we want to look at this right here. Important. We will suspend EK pool on April 30th. So in 4 days time. Miners, please withdraw your coins from the system. Before then, after this date, we will not be able to support miners' refund. We regret to make this decision because the cost to maintain too large compared to the profit. We are forced to pause. We will return at another suitable time. You know, pretty much you're saying the crypto markets suck. We can't afford to run our pool. We're shutting it down. Now, the major thing here is Zeph. As we are aware of, Zeph cannot be transferred on chain at all. All you can do is audit it, and we're still a month away from that. So anybody mining on here, if they like, I think they should have an ultimate reality, like, 1, audit their coins, and 2, this should be delayed to allow that refund and pool payouts, obviously in a month or two's time from here, or they're literally stealing all your coins, which, again, I point out, they are notorious for. I believe caught them on Dynex once. There was that, was it coin pet? I don't remember which pet. I think it was a Pepe, but I'm not 100% sure. But I was going through my spreadsheet. EK pool was the only pool available at the time. Then some other pools came on, and I was going through my spreadsheet. I'm like, I'm getting half the coins that I'm supposed to be getting. What is going on? And I took that to their Discord, and then the devs started confronting them, and then finally they said, and then eventually they got kicked off the blockchain. EK pool got kicked off because, yeah, it was found they were stealing people's coins, and like half of their coins that they should have been paid, like a lot of them. They had a huge bag of whatever coin it was, and obviously they probably dumped it, and then that coin died, whatever. Point is here, they have been caught on multiple occasions of stealing miners' coins. So no one should ever be touching EK pool at all, and now it looks like they're a prime example, ready to steal every single Zephyr that was mined on there ever since, you know, currently up until the audit and everything hit, because now they're saying in 4 days time, at the end of this month, they are not going to be able to issue any type of refunds and pay you out at this point. So if you have anything on this minus Zeph, because you can't withdraw it, withdraw every single coin you have because it's going to be gone. And they're telling you right here. So I'm up in the air. I do imagine they should, if they have any heart at all, which, you know, I don't think they do, but they should obviously have this one postponed due to the whole audit process and everything that's going on. But, you know, I think there's a pretty good chance here that they are just going to hijack everybody's coins. So it's crazy, absolutely crazy. We were running a pool, but our main ops didn't have enough time to help maintain it. Yeah, pool mining, it takes a lot of time. It's especially depending on the chain. Some chains need like daily love. Some need love every 2 days, and some just run for years and you don't have to worry about it, you know, unless an odd core wallet update or something happens and comes and stuff like that. But, you know, it's crazy. So I wonder what server hosting they use that they can't cover the yearly fees. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, you know, you look at, you know, someone like Viper, there he is right there, just looking around, and oh my gosh, I got to find my screenshot now. Oh my gosh, that's wrong. Anyway, Viper's right there, and like, depending if you're using good, you know, if you got good hash rentals and stuff, you got thousands of dollars a month in fees just to cover your pool costs. Like, it's not cheap if you're running a good pool. I'm not saying EK Pool is a good pool. They probably got the cheapest crap they can find on top of robbing everybody, because they probably have to, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. But, you know, it's not cheap. Cost of database alone, a couple $1,000s. Like, it's insane. It is expensive to run a good pool. I have to find a system that holds 4x 4090s without tariffs. Some guy mining pool is the pool we are running. Some guy mining pool is the pool. Interesting. I have to look into that. Some guy. What coins do you got? Coins you got? Let's go. Is it on mining pool stats for what coin? Let's take a look at it. So, AIDP. Let's see. AIDP. What is that? Oh, AID pin. What is that one? Is that the one that Goldshell made a weird miner for? Oh no, that's Kapow. How come I don't see it? Do I see it here? I don't see it here. You don't have it listed here, do you? It's not listed. Oh, you aren't running it anymore. Okay. Yep. You don't have nothing running right now? Okay. Well, we won't check it out then. We won't. You can't compare Viper to EK Pool. Well, no, I'm not comparing Viper to EK Pool at all. I'm just saying, you know, to run a good pool, it's expensive. It is not cheap. And obviously, we're not saying EK Pool is a good pool, because we just finished saying how they're trying to steal everybody's coins on pretty much everything. So, yeah, they're not a good pool at all. Database can't ever go down. Ever! Exclamation mark. I added that in there. There were 3 of us running it. AID pin and Kapow facepalm. No, that's kind of an interesting thing. You got a D-pin project, which is like, usually you think of D-pin. Like, what is D-pin? If you think of D-pin, what is D-pin? When I always saw D-pin everywhere, all it is like, you know, helium and all these node miners and little tiny things that use like 6 watts of power hanging all over your ceiling and stuff. That's D-pin to me. You know, maybe I'm wrong to that. Now you got Kapow D-pin. Like, that makes zero sense. Now you have like the most power intensive algorithm running on a GPU, but they're calling it D-pin. So what is the definition of D-pin? You know, we can Google that right now. What is D-pin? What is D-pin? They'll probably give us something like pulling out a pin. Decentralized physical infrastructure network. Okay. Use blockchain technology and token incentives to create decentralized real-world infrastructure, such as wireless connectivity, cloud storage, and energy grids. By leveraging these networks... See, here we go. So what part about Kapow does this have anything to do with? On top of AI, wireless connectivity, cloud storage, and energy grids. Now, the only thing I can see close to Kapow here is energy grids, because you're going to need a freaking big one to run Kapow. Am I right or what? So, yeah, I don't know. I think is that a scam? Like, I remember there's also that ASIC. What was the ASIC? The Goldshell miner was releasing some ASIC for D-pin. Was that the AI D-pin that it was for? Like, as soon as I saw that, I shook my head. I'm like, how is this a thing? How is this a thing? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a D-pin project at all. That looks like a rug pull or something. It's quite worth mining. Well, it looks like it's picking up profitability on some hardware. Like the 5080 It's making 20 cents. It looks like it's making more than Cubic currently. Of course, Cubic's not in here. Cubic's probably not in. That's what it is. But then again, I don't think Cubic's making this much on anything. I could be wrong, but if 50 cents after power profit at 12-cent power, I don't know if that's a thing. Unless that much hash rate actually did leave Cubic, that could be good. Maybe we're seeing that, but I highly doubt it. After this week, Panda made a video the other day. He's going to mine it. And then now we have hash rate data. Noah saying this, I don't think this, like, if you've been mining Cubic, you pretty much know from day one, you can never trust a profit calculator. And especially on the first few days after a reset. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be very long till we see this not in the list anymore. I don't know if it's just a technical error and this is just glitched right out, or maybe it's actually making something. I might have to put a rig on it next Wednesday, run it for a week, check these daily profits each day, and see what I actually get after a week to see. No, that's the only way you can really test this, is you're going to have to throw on a GPU and mark everything down every single day, comparing this versus that. And just, by the time a week comes, then you got to wait another week to get your payouts. Then you got to go back in time, cross-reference it with the price and everything and see, was this actually accurate? That's a test I think I might have to do, because I am curious. I am curious to see how that's coming out, but that's going to take 2-3 weeks to play out, because then you do have to wait a week or two after the initial week of mining to see what the heck your payout is. But obviously I'll rewind it and I'll write down all the prices of the coin at the time and everything during that week of mining to see if it does add up to what that says. And that'll be an interesting take. I think that'll be interesting to actually know about that. Where can I dump my Kwai in the USA? I have no idea. Usually for most things, if you're looking for an exchange, just come into Mining Pool Stats and just look it up. Where's Kwai? Right here. So here's Kwai. Now, Mining Pool Stats has a hidden feature that is it's an obvious feature that nobody likes to scroll down to. So if you come in here, you see a coin. If you just do a couple of mouse scrolls down with your finger, look at 1, 2 swipes to just 2 little waves of your finger. Doesn't even take any energy or effort. And look where it takes you to. MEXC right here. You could dump it on this. There's Gate.io. There's Trade Ogre. It has a list of exchanges. There's probably other ones out here. Sometimes it doesn't have all of them, but we can see it looks like the most volume. That's decent volume for Kwai. $78,000 a day for 24-hour volume. That's pretty good. That is decent volume for a coin for sure. Easily dump stuff. Okay, what else do we got here anyway? Let's take a look at some coins. What's some emissions looking like these days anyway? Let's come back into here. Engage. Refresh. Oh, look, my internet sucks. All right, so we're going to go to the emissions here. What do we got? Dogecoin's at 2.47 million. Not bad, but not great. Kaspa's up to 5. Oh, wow, this is down. This is only 300,000 here, 3 days ago. Now it's up to 507. Could we see over a couple million for daily emissions again? I hope so, but I doubt it. We got ETC coming in at 224. This is about where Kaspa was 4 days ago right here, when it was only sitting around 6-7 cents. Bitcoin Cash is at 152. I'm curious about Bitcoin Cash. As we know, Red Panda Mining hit a solo BTC block. I'm curious about maybe firing up a node and trying it myself. What's the block time? Oh, yeah. See, it's that. Over 1 exahash. Yeah, he got really lucky, especially on that mini. But you got to keep in mind, he also had what was his total hash rate? He had 3 of those minis going, a whole bunch of nanos. So in theory, he had a lot of hash rate going on, and obviously just one miner. If you just turned on the one miner and hopefully you hit it, what if he turned on one of the other ones? He'd still be waiting for that block. But, obviously that one hit it and he got lucky. But I do have this guy right here, just rocking away solo mining Bitcoin. Maybe I should slap it to Bitcoin Cash, but honestly, I don't really care about a Bitcoin Cash block when you're looking for a Bitcoin block. So we do have the A1566 here, rocking away, solo mining now. My best share ever so far has only been 125.66 billion. And remember, we need to hit something like 123 trillion in order to hit that block at the current network conditions. So still nowhere close on finding a share on that, but we'll see what happens as years and years go by. But right now, yeah, we can see our 200 terahash for 1 day rocking away here. Solo mining some Bitcoin. Here's my address. If you ever see, I think this address suits me awesomely. Do you guys see this? Look at my Bitcoin address. Look at, what does this kind of spell out to you? When you look at that, what do you see? 5RTZN. What does that look like? Do I got to zoom in so you guys can kind of see that better? What does that look like? Anybody? I know there's a delay in the stream, so I'll count back. 3, 2, 1. Nobody. All right, so to me, I think this suits me awesomely because that looks like a Bitcoin address ending in Ryzen. Ryzen CPUs. Does that not look like Ryzen? 5RTZN? That totally looks like a Ryzen to me. It's like the CPU. So I'm like, this is like the best Bitcoin address ever. Yeah, there you go, Skirm Ryzen. See, it looks just like Ryzen. I'm like, that is awesome. That was like the best address. I love my Bitcoin address. That's Ryzen in the end. So if you see a Bitcoin address, hit a Bitcoin block, and it ends in Ryzen in some, that shape or form, that's Rabid. Oh, man. Anyway, continue on. What we got? Oh, Fundwiser's rocking in the Twitch there. Hey, first weekend, I'm not working in months. Nice, Fundwiser. Get a break finally and relax, huh? 78K is a decent daily emission compared to ETH at 21 million. Yeah, ETH emissions was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Can't even see the Addy. Oh, okay. Here, I'll bring it back up. I'll show you guys. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Okay. You know what? I'll try to bring it up. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Now can you see the end of it right here? There's the end of my Bitcoin address. I'll kind of make it so you can see the whole address. Can you see the whole address now? Let's go up to here. Still can't quite see it. There. There's my entire Bitcoin address right here. That's my address. And it ends in, does that not look like Ryzen? That's freaking the best Bitcoin address as ever. And look at this. Like, I don't know, Beck or Feck or, Feck Ryzen. Oh my gosh, we can pick all sorts of stuff out of here. What else can we see inside of this? Hey, here's a Zeph, kind of, Zeph, F Ryzen. Oh man, this has turned into the absolute ultimate Bitcoin address. You have so many words in this one. Looks like Tarzan. Hey, it could be whatever you want. It's like looking at a cloud, and everyone sees that cloud as something different. So, depending on your eyes, this could be solely different. Maybe this is Tarzan to you. To me, it's Ryzen. Here's Beck and here's, Zeph happening here. And I don't even know. What do we got here? There's probably more stuff we can figure out. But yeah, you get the idea. You get the point there. Oh, man. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, as soon as I smash a Bitcoin block, I'm going to be sending it to a different wallet address just to kind of confuse things out there. But the initial block will be found on BTC Ryzen. Oh, no. I turned on my countdown again. No, wrong button. There we go. Whew. That's close. I almost started the countdown again, and we can start to stream all over from scratch. I'm starting my Hashcat. Well, go ahead. Start it up because there's nothing in there right now. It's empty. Or did I lie? Maybe there might be about $40,000 or $50,000 in there. Actually, I'm just kidding. There's not. Is it risky showing your BTC address? No. Some people can try to hack it allegedly, like Yusuf Putz right there. But address is address. Address is okay. What you don't want to show is your private keys, your seed phrases, things like that, because then people can access everything. I see a nuclear power generator that runs on BTC. Crypto ran nuclear plant. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. 78K is decent. Okay, and can you make up your own BTC ad? Can you make up your own? No, not that I'm aware of. I doubt it. No, I don't think so. One of my addresses has 5 out of 7 letters of my surname. Nice, Jock McMiner. In sequence. Oh my gosh, that's even awesome. That's even better. To start randomly generating Bitcoin addresses until you find the one that you like. That's one way to do it. Show us your seed phrase words. Sure, no problem. Actually, no, I can't even show you my seed phrase because a lot of my stuff is on my original Tangent wallet, which doesn't even have a seed phrase. A lot of people are upset with that. Where's my seed phrase? This is not secure. This sucks. I need a seed phrase. And you got to realize the difference between a seed phrase, private keys, and all that stuff. Now, a seed phrase is just access to get back into your private keys and stuff. To send crypto and everything, it's the private keys. And like the original Tangent wallet, yeah, the new ones and stuff now have seed phrases because everyone requested it, but they're actually less secure because now you have that seed phrase that could possibly fall in the hands of someone to unlock it. Now, the original Tangent with 3 cards, which, I ran over with my truck. I did, I spun my tires out on it. I threw it in water for a while. I saw another guy, I think he shot his with a gun, and it still worked just fine. So they're life-proof here. Obviously, they could melt in the fire and stuff, but you could put it in a fireproof bag and things like that. But the point here is my original has no seed phrase, and that's where I have, a bunch of my coins. And, that's sitting there, and you have 3 cards, and there's no seed phrase, so no one can try to, get in that way. But the private keys are on the cards, and that's all you have to keep secure. All you got to keep secure is your private keys. There's some old core wallets which don't have seed phrases. You actually have to copy your private key, the literally whole private key, into a USB drive or something, and that's your backup and everything, is the legit private key number instead of a seed phrase, which is even less secure, but that's the way, some things work. So the private keys are embedded into the card, and that's what is needed to send your crypto and stuff around. So you need access to the private keys, and you verify that you're using that private key to send coins away. And that's all that really matters. It comes down to private keys. Now, the seed phrases and all these other things are just access to the private keys. So, that kind of makes no sense. Like a lot of people, like I said, early Tangent people were mad and said, where's my seed phrase? Because you guys all get programmed. It's just like media and all this other. You get programmed to do things one way, and it's like anything that's different just won't compute. You need to do it this way. And that's where, as a consumer, all the ads and people running, governments, they can just mind control the crap out of people. No, I'm not saying they're mind controlling us, but you know what I mean, though. Like, they can just throw everything out there all the time, and they just program our brains. And that's just the way you're geared for. In theory, most people are like sheep. There's very few leaders out there, and mostly are sheep. People just like to follow. And that's just the way, a lot of people are programmed. And, obviously that's how advertising kind of plays key figures in this. And that's the same thing, just looking back and stepping out and looking at, like, were you one of the ones when you first saw Tangent? Did you think, oh, wow, where's my seed phrase? I don't want that. I need a seed phrase. So, you're programmed from the start here. We've always used seed phrases to get into stuff and get stuff and write it down and all this stuff. But all it comes down to, you got to remember, it's about the private keys. It's not about the seed phrase. It's how you access the private keys. And that's why I also thought the original Tangent is the better wallet, because it didn't have the seed phrase, and that's a less way for people to kind of get into it. Obviously, if you lose all 3 cards, you're screwed. But then again, most people just have their single seed phrase on a piece of paper that could easily get wet, melt, burn, whatever. There's other ways to store that seed phrase, like those metal things and stuff. But you got to remember, majority of the people probably just got it written down on a piece of paper, and that's obviously not good long term. But they're okay with it because they got their seed phrase, right? Rabid, they are called I am rabid mining sheep. You got oh, I gotta find some voice on stuff for all that. Oh, hold on. I totally forgot about. Oh man, I lost it all. I don't even remember what it was. Let's try this. Let's see if it works. Hold on, give me a second. I'm hitting. Oh no, can't find it. All right, well, it's not working, I guess. Interesting. Oh wait, it might have worked. You guys ready for this? Everybody, you are one rabid sheep. Rabid sheep unite. I called you guys rabid sheets. I apologize. Did that even work? I don't even know if that worked. I was trying to find the buttons, and I didn't find the buttons, and it turned on, then off, then on, and I just messed the whole thing up. But I found it, I think. There's Beat. Who is that? There's BTC Brain Wallet seed phrases. What is a BTC Brain Wallet? That's interesting. Is that like people embed it in their brain? Who was that? That was Almighty talking. You guys ready for some more? Behold, all hail Rabid. All hail Rabid. Yeah, that type of stuff. We are Borg. You should have said, Rabid, I am your father. What What is this? Oh, I got some kick thing happening here in Y9HC. Dude, look at the blah, blah, blah views and kick. It's crazy. I don't know. I think someone's trying to sell views things. It's like one person shows up there a month to spam me. I probably shouldn't even stream there anymore. It seems a pretty dead platform. Brain wallets are words you can remember. Oh, yeah, but what if you get dementia or something? Or, you know, what if you end up forgetting? Then you're kind of screwed. What else were we going to look at here? What else? Oh, yeah, we were going to... That's right. I wanted to look up... We wanted to check out the new Bitmain miner. It's not released yet, obviously, but we're going to guesstimate what it could possibly be. So, you know, I was looking at some older numbers and stuff based on, like, Kaspa miners and Lithium. I don't have the KS0 originally in here, but we know it's 100 gigahash at 100 watts. It usually works out to be one gigahash per watt was here. Now, obviously, when it comes to a Leo, we're dealing in the megahash. We're not at the gigahash stage yet. But for the most part, we can see, and then all of a sudden we had Ice River. They released their first KS3M, and it's, you know, not quite double the efficiency, but the first Bitmain miner over all the Ice River miners here, KS3 Bitmain, 2.68. So it's about 2.5 times more efficient. Another thing we do know about Bitmain is usually all their miners fall around the 3200 to the 3500 watt range. I have KS3 Bitmain as 30. Was it 3500 watts here? I'm going to go with a 32. I'm going to say 3300 watts. So yeah, let's go 3300 watts is what it could be at about 2.5 times the efficiency of the KS0 or the AE0 right now. So now I got to come into my Aleo miners here, and I'm going to find this one. This one? No, which one is it? No, not that one. This one? Oh, yeah, this one, I guess. So we're just going to do here, let's just call it the AE3. AE3 Bitmain. I have no idea what it's going to be called. We're just going to say AE3. So now we got to figure out. So we're guesstimating the power on this thing is going to be, you know, probably around 3,300 watts. It could be 2,200. It could be 35. I'm going to go middle ground, 3,300 watts. That's usually, they usually try to have it. Other than Bitcoin, they're starting to push 5,000 watts in their new miners now, which is insane. But now we got to figure out here a hash. So now we got to figure out about double the hash rate now. So, you know, we're using the numbers here. So remember, we found out that this is using a bit more power, but we're just going to base it off initial aspects here, 2.5 times. So 6. So double the efficiency would be 1,200 kilohashes per watt. And then another half of that. So we'll add 3 more onto that. So 1,500 kilohashes per watt is what we're looking for. So we're going to be looking at 1,500 kilohashes per watt of power. So now we got to figure out the hash rate. We got to figure out, you know, what's efficient hash rate at 3,300 watts to equal 1,500 kilohashes per watt. And this is where we got to play around with a bunch of numbers here. But we're going to see if we're going to be, as for price, we have no idea because they're going to do whatever. You know, maybe we'll just times it by 1 year to see what the ROI is, because obviously they might pick it around 1 year ROI at current profitability, which is extremely high, meaning this thing is going to be extremely expensive. But we're just going to guess. We're going to mix things up, and then when they finally do announce it in the next, you know, month or two, maybe 3 months, we'll see how accurate we were on guesstimating, how close we were. Obviously, we're not going to hit it dead on. That'd be insane if we did, but, you know, I think we should be pretty close here. So we're looking for 1,500 hash to watt. I just got to bring up like, I don't even know what to, let's bring up my, what's it called here? Hash power calculator thing. I'm going to bring that into here. So we're trying to get to 1,500 watts. Now let's just, like, I don't know. We need a rough number here in terms of mega hash. So right now we got 3, let's go, let's see what 1 gigahash is looking like here. So for kilohash, we got, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to divide that by, is that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to divide that by 3,300 watts. That is 303. Is that right? Am I doing that right? Kilohash. Divided by 3,300 watts. That's only 303. So that's actually... So it's going to be it's going to be more than a gigahash. Okay. That's insane. Let's go frickin' we got to double, let's triple that. Let's go 3 gigahash and see what that's going to look like. So 3 million divided by 3,300. That's 909. So not quite yet. Let's try 5 gigahash. 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to divide that by 3,300. 1515 right there. Right there. 5 gigahash. So right here we got 5 gigahash at 33 is an efficiency rating of 1515 hashes per watt, which is about double the efficiency at 3,300 watts is 5 freaking gigahash. 5 gigahash. Could this be accurate? Could we see Bitmain's miner 5 gigahash for 3,300 watts puts it at double the efficiency of the AE0 and stuff at 1,515 kilohashes per watt. So now we have a 5 gigahash miner. We're going to say profitability at the current thing because that's what they do. They're going to make it look like it's extremely profitable, probably slap about a 1-year ROI price tag on it. Let's see what kind of price that's looking like. So we got 5 gigahash here. That is insane. 5 gigahash versus what we got. We got 360 megahash now, 60 megahash. Like, that is insane. Now, again, it comes down to the efficiency. Maybe they're not that efficient yet. Maybe they'll break it down to only, maybe just double the efficiency. Yeah, but I expect Bitmain to, usually they're about 2.5 times more efficient than the early Ice River miners, and especially more than the Gold Shell miners, on top of keeping that, over 3,000 watt range. So these numbers do make sense to me. Now we just got to find a profitability calculator for this. So where can we find this hash rate? I know coins. Coins. Let's go to ALEO here. They have a calculator. Engage. Oh, my internet's so slow. Calculator. Calculator. All right, here's calculator. Mega proofs. So that would be what? 5,000 mega proofs, I believe. Nope. Wrong button. Mega. Yeah, 5,000 mega hash is 5,000 mega proofs. So 5,000 at 3,300 watts. Miner fee. Calculate. Is this low? 700 and this looks about right. $737 per day. So now if we go 737 times 365, okay, that's not right. Okay, that's not going to be priced that much because in theory that's $269,000 in a year. So, $20,000 maybe. I guess they'll probably price this out. I have no idea because that seems too much. But right now, if this thing was online, a 5 freaking gigahash miner at 3,300 watts at 12-cent power is $737 a day. 3,022 ALEO per 24 hours. Obviously, the network hash rate at this point is going to explode. Every other miner is dead. But this is what the numbers based on our early specking of Bitmain's miner could look like. Now, do you guys agree that this could make some sense to you guys? Vegas. See, and this is where the FOMO kicks in. People are going to see these extremely insane numbers here. Now, who knows? What if, and this is ALEO at a low price. Like, what if ALEO goes back to $2 or $3 a day? Like, let's say ALEO hits $3 a day. Remember, the previous all-time high was $6. So let's go 3,022 times $3. That's $9,066 a day that this thing could be making. This thing is going to be an expensive miner probably. But again, we don't know if that's right. Like, we're just guessing based on efficiencies on previous miners coming on first generations, and then guessing the hash rate based on the efficiency for the amount of power that they usually are. Like, it might only end up being 2,200 watts for all we know. Maybe it's only going to end up 2,000 watts, maybe it's only 1,500 watts or 1,230 or something like we saw with the X5. We don't know what they are, but usually their miners are around 3,200 to 3,400 watts. When you saw it, same thing with Lithium and Kaspa and stuff like that. And then they're usually about 2.5 times more efficient than the early AE0s and, KA0s and things like that. So, based on previous stats with Kaspa and Lithium, these could be highly accurate. But We don't know until they actually release it. So it's just a guessing point at this point. Now we just got to wait for them to announce it, and we're going to see if these numbers are accurate or not. So I'm curious, how close do you think these numbers could be versus when Bitmain does actually release? Do you think this actually has do you think this actually makes, some type of sense? Like, do these numbers look close to what we could expect from Bitmain, or do you think I'm totally out to lunch here? I'm calling Hawk now. Get me one. Make sure you use my link, code Rabid for terahashing. And my link, terahashes. I got referral links to Terahash too, guys. Speaking of that, you guys need to order more of these. Look at this. We still have 335 left. We need to get these things ordered up. Come on. They're crypto miners' dream. We got a CPU on it. We got a GPU on it. We got an ASIC on it, like a 100% proof of work mining tandem card in yellow, red, and black. Like, what else could you want here? Order them up, guys. 335 left. I ordered like 5 or 6 of them. I'm waiting for everyone else to order them up so I can finally get them. No, I'm not sure it's 5 gigahash. This is guesstimating. We are guessing what Bitmain will do based on previous statistics that we've seen released from Bitmain. So this is highly not confirmed or anything at all. This is us guessing what Bitmain's miner could be. And based on the stats we just looked at, it could be around 5 gigahash. Remember, if they drop that power consumption, or maybe they don't end up as efficient as previously, it could maybe only be 3 gigahash at maybe 2,800 watts or something. So it's still up in the air. We're just guesstimating based on what happened on Lithium and Kaspa. So keep that in mind. But where's my other thing? ASIC miners. Right here. There we go. Nope, that's crypto walls. ASIC miners. There we go. Rabid mining. ASIC miners. Engage. 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 There you go. See, terahashing right here. Terahashes, code Rabid. Click this link, order from there, because they are US based. Obviously, this is Hawk. This is Hawk we're talking about. Now, I'm still up in the air on how the whole tariffs thing is working. Obviously, Ice River and stuff, they're going to implement tariffs. Now, miner bros, you may get lucky there, because as we know, like, it's not supposed to be. I don't want to say anything because maybe then someone at customs will see it, but you guys know what I'm talking about on what goes on. So you may be lucky here. I do know that I sent, like I said, I sent to terahashing the A1566 and stuff, and guess what? There were no tariffs, which means if you take hardware, send them to me or Panda or something, we'll charge you an extra $1,000, but it'll still save you about $8,000. You can get into the States with 0 tariffs. There are loopholes around it because I just sent stuff and nothing happened. So, it's stuff coming in from China, not stuff coming in from Canada and other places. So you could order it to my house and I could ship it out to you. And then, things that there's looks like there's ways around it, but I don't want to say too much of that stuff because now we probably got customs watching my channel and this live stream, and it's over. I should have said that. I'm going to rewind this and delete. You guys just seen this now. I'm going to delete this live stream as soon as we're done. Oh, man. Rabid brokering. Well, you think about it. There are there's companies out there, and that's their whole thing is shipping, importing, and exporting. And they probably got companies situated around the place. Okay, we're going to ship that to Europe and then to here. We're going to go to here and then to there. We're going to go to Canada and there. We're going to go to Mexico and then up to there. There's probably companies that that's the legit purpose is just sideswiping, getting around loopholes and stuff. But I don't know. You know what's funny? American didn't pay tariffs on the AE0. I heard Canadians did. I have no idea. Maybe. I'm not even sure. Mine turned out to be, can't remember. Mine was $72 or something. But Panda's ended up being like 152. But Panda also has extra taxes. In BC where he lives, he has like PST as well. I think they're up to like, with the GST and their provincial tax, which is a PST, they're up to like 10 or 15%, where in Alberta, we just pay the 5% GST on top of things. So I don't know. But then looking back on like A0s and stuff, like they were only $30. But then again, I can't remember what the price were when I actually got them. So it might have actually just been normal, whatever. So I don't actually know. I'd have to look really deep into it to see exactly what it all was, but I'm not 100% sure. That's a good spec for Bitmain. However, they will not release one anytime soon. The coin is still too small. That's very true. But Bitmain, like, what was it? 3, like I can't open up my my special chat because I'll get in trouble. and I can't say too much because I don't want to leak anything, but they are delayed 6 to 7 months confirmed. That was 4 months ago. It is expected to come sometime this summer. There's other things that are mentioned that I can't say as well, but let's like, I can't say nothing because then they'll never talk to me again. Let's just say home miners are going to like it. That's all I'm saying. No more. I'm not saying anything else. Not saying anything else. I just said too much, I think. Crap. Anyway, moving on. Illegal crossings the border, no problem. Okay, focusing on BTC while that domesticated through the roof. I can't even get smuggled to Vegas. I'm going to go down the street corner. Yo, who's got the A6? Tariffs will help with used GPU prices sell into. That's another thing too, though. Another thing we got to keep in mind, though, when it comes to the tariffs and everything, this could be good for some of us. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what? How is this good? Everything's going to be, yeah, it's going to be super expensive. But people who maybe took the risks to get some of these, we're not going to see the hash rate spikes possible. And obviously, if people are mining, the people in Europe and things like that, but then their power price is like 40 to 60 cents. So then, you know, they're not buying anything anyway because their power price is too damn high. But like a lot of miners and stuff, obviously the people that watch the channel, they're all from the US. Sure, there's obviously Bitcoin farms and other farms around the world. You know, that's the point of decentralization. But a lot of you guys are in the States and some of you guys in Canada and stuff. But you know, because those tariffs, people might not be doing like they did previously because prices are going to be so jacked up. You're like, what is that? 145% on like, say, a $700 miner. What is that? Like, is it like, okay, $799. Do you actually times it by 140? No, not 145. 799 times 1.4945. So is it times 1.45, which makes $799 now, you know, $1,158. So it's not quite double, but it's like 80% more in price on this the AE0. Is that a thing? Does it actually like almost $1,200 now from a $799 miner on 145%? I'm not sure if that's how you actually work it out. It must be, but it might discourage people from obviously buying these because they're so damn expensive just on those import fees. So that means we might not see in the hash rate explosions, meaning profitability might pick up. Kind of like with like Warthog. People are just too damn lazy to split apart their GPU rigs and slap them into a CPU, or they didn't have any CPUs, so they don't want to order CPUs, and then they got to do the extra work. And people just didn't want to do that. So we saw Warthog mining, even though it was looking good, hash rate didn't climb because everyone was too lazy. And we could see the same thing here. Hash rate might not climb much because it's just too damn expensive and not worth it. So it turned into a larger gamble because you're paying a whole bunch more, but it could be a larger gamble that pays off. But in the end, it still comes down to Bitmain releasing. If they release in the next 2 months, you know, it's over for, you know, all of these. The AE0 is done. You know, we just guesstimated 5 gigahash at 3,300 watts. It's absolutely insane. And looking at the numbers, and obviously we're like, okay, that's insane, that's high, but it's $720 some a day. Well, look what early Kaspa was for Bitmain, freaking over $5,000 a day. Like, that's insane. Obviously that didn't hit that when they released, because once they turned on, you're already 50% less of a profit there. But like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So depending which way you look at it, no, this could be an advantage for some miners, and other miners is obviously not going to be. And okay, it's just crazy, absolutely crazy world out there. That was mainly because Bitmain's D9 Dash miner is 1.77 gigahash at 2,800 watts. I think the Aleo could be closer to that. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just basing it off efficiencies. You know, I'm just basing it off the efficiency, and I'm just doubling the efficiency 2.5 times. Actually, is what we did. 2.5 times. I could see at least 2x of what obviously that KE's. Now remember, Ice River is going to release a more efficient miner as well. That's why I went 2.5 times, because the Ice River is probably going to be about 80% more efficient, and Bitmains is usually about double of that one. So we could even see a more efficient miner than the number we're looking at. But again, we don't know, you know, what's their power consumption going to be. Is it going to be 2,000 watts, 3,000 watts? But, you know, I do think we're pretty close. We just have to wait to see what their actual, you know, what their power consumption is, and then we can work it out a lot better. There are ways to make money off bit axes. and be careful with altcoin ASICs. They are all pump and dump. 100% pump and dumps. 100%. It's not by solo mining. Yeah, well, we talked about that a while ago too, though. Like some small coins, like if you come into here, just go search by algorithm. Search by algorithm. Oh my gosh, my internet sucks. You guys are gonna have to cancel it. It's not that good. Download is good though, but you know, yeah, sucks. So let's go to Shaw 256. And now you can look by emissions, but obviously all the high emission coins, it doesn't take long to get to next to no emissions. But look for hash rates here. Pool hash rate, petahash. We're still in the pet. Look at it. What is this? Here's a space expanse coin. Its only emissions are $15 a day, but somehow it has frickin' 19 petahash on it. 19 petahash where the Bitcoin ASICs is mining for $15 a day, fighting with each other. That's insane. But anyway, coming into here, you know, look for, like, here's something with only 42 gigahash on it. Look at that. 42 gigahash at $7 emissions versus 19 petahash at $15 emission. So this right here is already over double the profitability of a double emission coin because this only has 42 gigahash. So here's Myrid. We all know Myrid. We've seen that on that. Anyway, so this is all merged. This is merge mined anyway, I think. So you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, come through here, look at coins, see what their emissions are, see what the hash rate are. And if you find something with a decent kind of emission with not very much hash rate, slap your bid axe on it. Just pool mine, slap it on there, make, you know, maybe 10, 15 cents a day for no power. You know, you could that's definitely an option available for, you know, some of these coins. You don't have to solo mine Bitcoin if you don't want to. There's tons of other coins that you can mine on those things. It all comes down to the algorithm. SHA-256. 6 cents a day on solar for the win. Nice. Bid axes are pretty shelf ornaments. That, and I don't think Warthog paid as much as running your GPU and CPU mining on its own. Early Warthog, I think, did, because I think it hit up to $2 or $3 a day, didn't it? When just before, you know, like it did get an increase, but before like it started getting an increase and it was in its kind of little pump stage there, it was around a couple bucks a day, I believe, which was more than that. Like no GPU was profitable at the time, and CPUs, I think they were doing okay, but not as good as that. So, you know, you double up your CPU profit that way, and then actually having a profit by utilizing the GPU. You know, I think it was actually more profitable at the time, depending on when you did it. What happened to Cedra coin? Anyone knows? I don't know. Didn't it pump the other day? I thought I saw Cedra had a pump the other day. Or is it gone? Cedra coin. Let's take a look. Is it dead? See, yeah, here we go. There's a little pump. It went up a bit. Yeah, it was up like 40% or something. Hash rate spike here too. It's still got 3.56 terahash on it. Weird pools are Hero Miners, K1 pool. What are these other pools? What are all these? Like, what's Puddle Pool and Taz Mining and NT Miner Pool? Nushi Pool. Pool KH. Oh, wait. How come these all have no hash rate? What? Why are those even there? Oh, these are all dead. Do they have an update and no one updated? That's kind of what's going on here. Okay, so there's only one pool. Interesting. So... oh, you guys can't even see anything I'm looking at, can you? Can you guys see that? There you go. So network hash rate is at 3.56, but it's almost looking like it. You know, this might be worth mining right now. All these, look at all the pools offline, invalid block height. So was there an update and everyone missed a memo? And now you have one pool here, NT Miner pool with 257 terahash, 100% known hash rate, and these guys are all on a bad chain or something. Is that what's going on here? That means there's like no hash rate right now, which means yields extremely high. This might be worth, unless, you know, maybe there's just an error here and everything's right and we don't know. Because I imagine Hero Miners and K1 pool and Hum pool and stuff would, Cryptex, you know, all these major pools, I figured they would have got the memo and got things worked out. So I don't know what's going on. Or did it actually die and nothing's happened? SDR is not moving in the market much, but they're doing a bunch with a video game and CT. So, all right, we're failing. Let's try video games. Is that kind of what's going on there? Or is that the whole plan the whole time? It's kind of funny. You see, okay, with nothing. Okay, we're going to try video games. You see that with some coins. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But if this, according to this, if this is accurate on the network, you know, we could be, you know, there could be a lot of profit here right now because there's no hash rate on the proper chain unless mining pool stats is reading the wrong chain and all these pools are right now. We don't know. All we know is there's something happening and we don't know what it is. So it could be worthwhile checking into. Or maybe the only pool online is the wrong chain and mining pool stats. Yeah, exactly. Or mining pool stats didn't update. That's 100% could be right. I imagine that's probably the way it is because seeing K1 pool and hero miners and cryptex and stuff being offline while some pool we never heard of being online, I don't think is the way it probably is. But hey, we don't know. You never know. I'm just going to put 20K times 6 into staggered CD and enjoy the $400 a month. Mine also on order. What's on order? Jock Miner, what do you got on order? What have we seen there? But I guess it's on Rabid to promote the out of it. Well, to get to the magic shipping number. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the Rabid Tangent. Yeah, you know, see, some of you guys that you ordered it too. We need more people to order more. Come on, you guys got to go to your Twitter accounts. If you haven't, make sure you follow me at Mining Rabid, not Rabid Mining, but Mining Rabid. And then post the Rabid Tangent wallet all over the place because we need more souls. We need to get our wallets in, right? So we can actually look at it and be like, yes, this is the greatest wallet ever invented. That's what it's going to be. And not pronounced advice. Or maybe the only pool is online and okay, we saw that. Thanks for the info, Rabid. No problem. What time is it? Oh my gosh, we've been here for so long. No wonder my throat's getting sore. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys get back to your weekend. I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be back again tomorrow for our AMA. So get them